Hello! Welcome to another book review. I'm your host, Kristen, and today I will be reviewing the YA horror book, Blood and Water, by Brianna Morgan. In case you're interested in buying this book afterward, content warnings in this book are blood, vomit, violence, animal death, suicide, murder, grief, disease/virus, and animal abandonment. For this review, I will start with the overall plot, then world building, and finally the characters. Let's begin. The main plot of the novel, as described on the inside cover of the book, is that Jay, his sister, and his friends must journey across London to Paris in the hopes of finding a treatment. All the while, Jay and his sister, Maya, are sick and running out of time. Unfortunately, although the plot the book advertises is interesting, that's not actually the story the reader gets. According to my Kindle, the journey part ends 37% of the way through the novel. Plus, besides Jay fainting and having a seizure in the tunnel, everything else goes too smoothly. Despite mentions of high crime rates and lootings, the group never runs into a dangerous person and manages to easily find a ton of supplies at a store. Instead, Jay and the others spend the rest of the novel at a doctor's house resting, all while the doctor tries to find a cure and develops a relationship with Jay. I'll get more into that later. If the summary had been about not trusting the doctor, however, that would have been fine. The world building in the novel was also pretty bare bones. The reader is told they're in London and there's been a plague, but that's pretty much it for the outside world, besides stopping at a stocked-up store on one town on the journey. However, the part I did like was how the plague, Ebola too, made people cough up and vomit blood. Both those details are naturally terrifying for any person, so it was a wonderful development. That said, there was one detail that bugged me. According to the MC, his parents were dead from the disease in a month. By the time that the story starts, Jay has already been sick for 3 weeks and should be at death's door. However, besides the two events in the tunnel and Jay throwing up blood, the audience is barely shown he is getting weaker, which lessens the severity of the illness and the tension. Also, I do wish the reader got to see more of the world before everyone was mostly stuck inside for the remainder of the novel. The River Thames does get to be seen from time to time though, which is good. I just hope that the book would have more descriptions. As someone who's never been to London or France, it would have been a blast to see how major locations looked during the apocalypse. I'll be honest, Jay wasn't the best character. It started out fun with him worrying about how his sister caught the illness, and Jay lying to her about being sick in order to spare her feelings. That was understandable, especially since they were essentially sick together. However, what was completely irresponsible was him lying to Sean, who visited him often, thus making Sean more likely to catch and spread the disease. Furthermore, beyond the tunnel, Jay didn't have much interaction with his friends and sister, besides maybe 1 or 2 conversations. Since all his time was put into his relationship with the doctor, the other characters were mostly flat. There were a few flashbacks of Jay interacting with his sister, but that was only after 70% of the novel was finished. Finally, the biggest issue I had about Jay is that he never really went through a character arc. Throughout the entire novel, he keeps lying to his friends and sister over and over, without learning anything or changing his ways. Now that I've arrived at this character, let's talk about her relationship with Jay. While Dr. Devereaux's relationship with Jay was fine at first, it quickly deepened into a romance and the two making out. However, Jay is 17, and the book clearly states that the doctor is at least 5 to 6 years older. Although I have no issues with books tackling darker subjects such as predatory and toxic relationships, this novel did not do it well. One of Jay's friends tries to talk him out of the relationship, but Jay just snaps that his friend is jealous and pushes her away even more. And though Jay finally realizes the doctor is using him, the wording about the doctor's end frames it as more of a tragic story and that she really did love Jay all along. All in all, the topic is handled poorly and really rubbed me the wrong way. As for the rest of the cast, there's not really much to say. They never went through their own arcs and were just pushed to the side once the doctor appeared. In a sense, It really affected most of the moments when Jay was worried about his sister. To me, the biggest issue was that the audience is often told their personalities, such as Melody being loyal or Sean being kind, but we're never actually shown that. Overall, I give this book 2.5 stars. Although I really wanted to like it and wish I could rate it higher, the plot and the characters just really fell flat toward the middle and the end. Not to mention how the bad relationship was only seen through Jay's perspective, and none of his friends seemed worried about it but one. The worst part was that the physical copy of this book was less than 200 pages, meaning there was plenty of space for more. Regardless, I hope Miss Morgan will keep improving her craft, and I wish her the best of luck on her writing journey.